There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood.
What's happening, everyone? It's your man Flash Prime here, and it's Prime time. The video we're about to watch is a spoiler-filled synopsis of the first game in the Legacy of Kain series, titled Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain is a top-down action-adventure video game, and the only one developed by Silicon Knights and published by Crystal Dynamics. The game was first released in 1996 for PlayStation, and later ported to Microsoft Windows. The game is set in the rugged and dangerous land of Nosgoth, a place kept in balance by the Pillars of Nosgoth, which are 9 marble-like pillars that reach as far as the eye can see. Each pillar represents a principle, which is mind, dimension, conflict, nature, balance, energy, time, states, and death. Each principle is represented by a guardian that's basically a powerful near-immortal dude that protects Nosgoth and are called the Circle of Nine. Way before the game even starts, Nosgoth's vampire population were fucking everywhere. To stop them bad boys, the Circle of Nine created the Sarafan, a brotherhood of religious vampire hunters that were pretty good at what they did, which pissed off an ancient vampire called Vorador. Vorador is a proud and arrogant vampire that apparently watched the world become corrupt and hated the living, which he sees only as food for his kind. So, we see a cutscene of Vorador storming the Circle of Nine, straight up laying the smackdown on 6 of the 9 Circle members, leaving them fucked up and showing them death's cold embrace. At this point, Malik is called to face Vorador in an epic showdown. Malik is the leader of the Sarafan, a member of the Circle of Nine and the Guardian of Conflict, which means this motherfucker is the real deal. After an epic battle, Malik loses to Vorador, and as punishment, another member of the Circle, Mortanius the Necromancer curses Malik to become an unliving wraith, forced to serve the Circle for eternity, and as a result, he can no longer get down with the pleasures of the flesh. After this, the Sarafan broke up, and the humans and vampires coexisted. Well, more or less. But a new threat takes the spotlight as the legions of the Nemesis rise up. Led by the Nemesis, who was once known as William the Just, a once heroic warrior that later becomes one of the game's main bad guys. The game first introduces the main character, Kain, as an arrogant as fuck noble who is killed by assassins after being refused a drink at the pub.
A mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark times. End it!
Kain is then approached by Mortanius the Necromancer, who offers him the chance for revenge. Kain accepts his offer, thinking only the sweet payback them goons are going to get once he finds them.
Victus. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. Sometimes, you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge.
And thus Kain rises as a badass Mac Daddy vampire we know and love. After he manages to catch the goons that killed him and takes them out, Mortanius informs Kain that the assassins may have killed him, but they were not truly the cause of his death. In search of the true cause of his death and also a possible cure to vampirism, Kain heads to the Pillars of Nosgoth. There he meets Ariel, that explains that he has to restore the pillars before he can find peace, by killing the Pillar Guardians and returning an artifact to each of their pillars. Ariel was a former Guardian of Balance and was quite a powerful sorceress and one fine-ass honey who was unfortunately killed before the game starts and doomed to haunt the land until the land finds salvation.
Nupraptor's keep lay west of Vasabont. I would seek to cut the cancer from its heart.
So Kain once again begins the next stage of his journey by tracking down and killing Nupraptor and then returning his head to the pillars and restoring the Mind Pillar.
Very well, old fool. If it is death you seek, I will not deny you.
Next we see Kain targeting Malik, where he has his first run-in with him, but their fight ends in a powerful area of effect spell that forces Kain to retreat. So to defeat Malik, Kain seeks the advice of the Oracle of Nosgoth.
The underground sanctity of the wise Oracle of Nosgoth.
A nobleman, seeking wisdom, death has taught you well?
Enough philosophy. I seek answers.
Answers indeed.
The Oracle informs Kain about the legions and the Nemesis, and the threat they pose to Nosgoth.
King Atmar, the only hope to defeat the legions of the Nemesis. King Atmar, paralyzed by his princess's malaise. King Atmar, the useless. Pray, good sir, what are the questions? Malik, defender of the Nine, and last of the Seraphim sorcerer priests. His vanity led to the slaughter of the Circle at the hands of the vampire Vorador. For his failing, his spirit was fused to a hellish set of magical armor. He has allowed no member of the Circle to fall since.
What of this Vorador?
Follow the glow of the Ignis Fatuus to the Termagant Forest.
Ignis Fatuus.
The Ignis Fatuus lights the path to hell, nobleman. Your path.
The Oracle gets Kain to find Vorador, and get his help in the form of a ring that will summon Vorador when Kain needs him most.
Good. Take this ring. If you ever need assistance, it will summon you.
While there, Vorador urges Kain to give in to his vampirism and become the G that he was always meant to be.
Drink deep and indulge your gift.
Gift? Vorador thought my curse a blessing. That we were gods. That mortals offered their blood as sacrifice so that we could enjoy our supernatural powers. And somewhere, deep inside my new self, I knew he was right. That mortal dreams were prayers. Prayers to us, begging us for power.
Refusing to bow down to Vorador's wishes and embrace his vampirism, Kain continues to look for a cure and get revenge on those that killed him. So he continues his hunt for the Circle, and soon ends up face to face with 3 Circle members.
Ah, not 1, but 3. Dejul the Energist, Bane the Druid, and Anakroth the Alchemist. How considerate of them to hasten my search.
The Circle members summon Malik, so Kain then calls on Vorador and the 2 ancient enemies fight once more.
Vengeance for my eternity of suffering.
Whelp! As if you knew what eternity was. Grovel before your true master!
Never. I'll hack you from crotch to gizzard and feed what's left to your brides.
While they fight, Kain chases after the Circle members who ran away and catches up to Bane the Druid and Dejul the Energist, fighting both at once in a boss battle where one's a bitch and hard to catch, and the other one hides behind a magic barrier. After Kain defeats Bane the Druid and Dejul the Energist, you find Malik has also been defeated by Vorador, and with their artifacts from all 3, their respective pillars are now restored. While chasing down Azimuth the Planer, Kain gets the Soul Reaver sword, an epic sword so great it literally dismantles people in a single blow. After also getting the Wraith armor, Kain is now ready to face Azimuth the Planer. This chick was another slippery one, summoning demons while shooting magic and teleporting. Luckily, with Kain's fly-ass new threads and epic weapon, the battle was just a matter of time before she falls. Kain then picks up her artifact and on his way out finds a time-streaming device that can be used to magically fly his way through time and will come in handy later. Ariel informs Kain that he must now focus on the war against the Nemesis, whose armies are on their way to Willendorf.
'Twas not too long ago that the Nemesis was known as William the Just, a caring and gentle benefactor of the land. But as his army grew in strength and he himself grew in power, the veil of tyranny fell, and one kingdom was not enough.
Next, Kain unlocks the ability to disguise himself as a human noble, and earns a visit with the King of Willendorf, the humans' mightiest city. On a side note here, Kain hilariously insults this dude on his way to the palace, and I just had to include it in the video.
As I walked among them, I smirked, thinking of the carnage that would befall them at the hands of the legions of the Nemesis, the glorious flames, and the inevitable rape and pillage. Out of my way, peasant! The stench of the fields hangs over you like a pall.
The king sees no one. He is in mourning for the princess.
He'll be in mourning for his kingdom soon, and he'll mourn for you even sooner if you don't get out of my way!
King Otmar, the king of Willendorf, is a shadow of his former self, as his daughter is in a deep magical coma. After this creepy little fuck Elzevir the Dollmaker won a doll-making contest for the princess's birthday, his only request for a reward was a lock of the princess's hair.
To celebrate her birthday, I declared a contest. Whoever created the finest doll in the realm would be granted a royal favor.
Which his little prick uses to trap the princess's soul, and thus her body is now lifeless.
Willendorf the Dollmaker created a toy of such beauty that all were captivated by it. And all he would take in payment was a lock of her hair. Soon after, she became like this, a lifeless puppet. Whoever restores her to her former self shall have this kingdom.
Thus, my hunt for the Dollmaker began.
Elzevir, I have come for the soul.
So, Otmar sent you to kill me, eh? I can smell him on you. Or is that the stench of the grave?
Dollmaker, I have no time for these games.
The soul is mine! I earned it! Otmar gave it to me!
Then you shall earn it with blood.
You shall not have it! Mine! 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 Farewell, my love. I was lucky to have made you.
What an odd little man. Elzevir imprisoned the girl's soul in a small fabric doll. The old man's intentions, I shall never know.
Kain recovers the princess's soul, and instead of claiming the throne, only asks for the help of Willendorf's army. King Otmar and Kain rally the troops to fight the Legion, and slay them once and for all.
With the doll in their possession, the court's sorcerers could restore his daughter's soul.
I do not know that I can thank you enough, warrior. My kingdom is but a small price to pay for my daughter's life. Willendorf is yours if you wish it.
'Tis not your kingdom I desire, but your army, Otmar. I require troops to vanquish the horde that descends upon us from the north.
Very well. Courtiers, fetch me my armor and mace. There is war to be waged!
The scourge of Nosgoth is upon us, friends. We shall die today as heroes, lest we live tomorrow as slaves. Ready thine arms for Nosgoth!
But the battle doesn't go as planned, and King Otmar dies and his forces get overrun. Left with no other choice than cornered, Kain uses a time-steering device, and is sent 50 years in the past, after which the time-steering device breaks. Mobius then informs a younger version of the Nemesis, who at the time was still William the Just, that a vampire was sent to kill him.
And the news you bring, a vampire sent to slay me? Where did you come upon such knowledge?
'Tis of no consequence, sire. It was only out of concern for your majesty's life.
Ah, yes, the vampire. Mobius told me he would come.
And the epic battle of future evil and undead vengeance clashes. The only one left standing was Kain, and in turn he finds another time-streaming device in the rooms beyond and returns back to his time. This creates a paradox that fucks up the time stream and gets rid of the Nemesis and his legions, but when Kain returns to the present, he finds that vampires are once again hunted. And then witnesses the beheading of Vorador at the hands of the Oracle, who gets the crowd to turn on Kain.
yet, my friend. Would you be free of the plague if only one city was cleansed? No! Would you spare one wolf in the pack that has devastated your herd? No! Then let us destroy them all! Yeah! He is the last! Destroy him!
Kain also realizes the Oracle of Nosgoth was actually Mobius the Time Streamer, who leads the hunt on vampires and was the mastermind behind all of Kain's actions until now. Mobius summons foes from past and present to fight Kain, so he kicks some time-traveling ass and what even looks to be his future self until he defeats Mobius, which Kain happily kills, and with Vorador dead, Kain is the last of his kind, the only vampire in a land that once contained so many.
By going back in time and altering the past, you turn William the Just into the Nemesis.
Aye, you have seen my plan, vampire, as I've seen your destiny. The future says you die.
But I am dead. As are you.
Kain returns to the Pillars to return Mobius' artifact, only to find Mortanius arguing with Anacroth the Alchemist, who reveals that Mortanius is a guardian and the arsehole responsible for Kain and Ariel's death. Seduced by the Dark Entity, later revealed to be a Halden Lord, a mysterious character later explored in future games, Mortanius was controlled and forced to kill Ariel. To correct this imbalance, he created Kain, a creature potent enough to destroy the Circle.
You betrayed us, Mortanius. You had Kain killed and turned him into a monster. You set him upon us.
It had to be. Nopraptor's insanity poisoned all of our minds. The Circle had failed in its sworn duties. It had to be destroyed.
Failed our duties? Idiot! The Circle exists for us. We don't exist for it. Our powers will save or damn Nosgoth at our whim. Stand with us, Mortanius, or die.
Then I shall die.
If the Circle is to be destroyed, you have to die as well, Necromancer. I admire your cunning, but you will not escape your fate.
Nay, I will embrace it. But my death will leave one more to take, Princeling. Finish me!
Mortanius slays Anacroth and then succumbs to the possession of the Dark Entity, the one being responsible behind everything that happened in Nosgoth.
You thought yourself a king, when in fact you were a pawn. You have served me well, Kain.
I serve no one.
Indeed, such narrow vision. Don't you see? My silencing of Ariel and its calculated repercussions is but the first act in my theater of Grand Guignol. The tragic hero. Play on, little vampire. Play on.
Ve Victus! Ve Victor! Ve Victor!
Kain fights to possess Mobius and slays the Dark Entity for now. With only one pillar left, Kain realizes that he himself is the final member of the Circle of Nine, and Ariel's successor as the Guardian of Balance. And the cure to vampirism that he searched for was actually his own death. Now faced with a choice, Kain has two options, and two different endings to the game. Kain can embrace his vampirism and rule the land like a boss, damning the world in the process, or bitch out and kill himself, restoring the land of Nosgoth and ending the vampire race for eternity.
Once I embraced my powers, I realized that Vorador was correct. We are gods. Dark gods. And it is our duty to thin the herd.
Obviously, the canon ending is Kain becoming the boss-ass motherfucker he was always meant to be, and accepts his vampirism, and rules the land with an iron fist, which leads to the next game in the series, titled Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
He was unknown, yet by choosing oblivion, he restored balance to the land. Shades cast no shadows.
So that concludes my video on Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Stay tuned for the next video explaining the story of Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and the introduction of Raziel, the one being to truly challenge Kain. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps the brother out. That's it, peace out homies, until next time.